Hey everybody, Keith Berns with Green River here with my good friend Jimmy Emmons. Jimmy, we caught up with him. He's at the Indianapolis airport, flying back home to Oklahoma after speaking at a conservation district meeting. Jimmy, I just wanted to have a conversation with you. I know you and I have been talking about doing spring planted annual cover crop forages instead of looking at planting a spring crop. And I know that we're going to be sending a semi-load of seed down to Oklahoma for you to do that. I just thought it would be good for you to share the thought processes that went into you making that decision, because other people, may be in the similar situation. So go ahead and just tell us a little bit about the situation that you're in and run in the numbers and the conclusions that you came to.
Sure, Keith. Well, I'm glad to catch up with you today. Like I said, I'm here in the airport traveling, so I apologize for any noise. But what the basics is, the grain prices are depleted right now. And if you want to run the numbers on your operation, they're probably pretty close to breaking even, to making a little money. Depends on your inputs and where you're at. We could make a little money with some grain, but not a lot. But we're cattlemen also, and the cattle market's on fire. And we can add a bunch of revenue by grazing versus grain. And we've run the numbers on our operation with our company that states that, we can really graze quite a bit. And we're blessed right now to have some moisture to be able to do that. The cows are still grazing stalks from behind milo and some warm season frosted seed mix that we planted, but they're about to get all the good out of that. And so we got a place to put them for a few weeks while we get something planted back to growing. And that's what we want to do, is try to get something good mix in the ground, get something green back in front of them. We got some yearlings also that we're running. We're going to ship a lot of the big cattle here in March, but I've got a lot of light cattle that needs to go to May and beyond. And my wheat's getting short on some of that. And so we're thinking about adding more pounds of beef on, and you figure I've got LRP on these calves at $2.56 a pound, weighing $9.40. That's tremendous revenue for us. And so we can literally add a lot of cash in the bank if we do this while we got the moisture. And where we're at, Keith, it's really about a limited rainfall, but when you have the moisture to grow, we try to capitalize on it. And I'd rather take the risk here in a short-term spring mix. It's been very good to us in the past. Very palatable, and the cattle really gain good. And knock on wood, so far we've had a pretty mild winter, and so we're kind of hoping that transitional won't be to just scorching hot like it has been in the past, and let the spring do their job. And then with that wheat that we graze out that's short stuff, we'll go through a warm season mix as quick as we can on other acres, so we can, if we have some more small cattle, we can go from this mix into a warm season mix later. So it's trying that noble research theory of 365 green to keep something in front of the cattle to make money.
Yeah, no, that's a great concept if you can do it. And so what we're looking at for Jimmy's mix here: oats, barley, peas, turnips, collards, safflower. We're going to throw a little flax in just for diversity. It's not the greatest for grazing, but we know the mycorrhiza love it. So we don't want to just feed the above ground livestock, but we want to look at the whole thing. So really diverse mix and loaded it up with good biology to really get that jump start. Now, Jimmy, you're doing this on dry land where you got a little moisture, but you're also doing some irrigated, because even with irrigated grain production, this still makes sense, right?
It does, Keith, because once again, we have potential to add some water to it. We can get bigger growth and more tons of forage, so we can convert that into beef quicker and easier, and higher numbers too as well. So, it just, we really factor in where you're taking out harvest and the expense of planting a cash crop seed versus a cover crop mix like you're talking about. I think the mix that you and I figured was $32 an acre on just kind of a dry land mix, and you can add about that 30% to that to an irrigated mix. I'm assuming that's pretty close, Keith.
Yep.
That's still cheaper than we could plant a cash grain that's that's actually just going to break even or make a little dab of money. So when I say a little money, you know, it's a pile of money if the cattle turn out and gain right now at that level.
What kind of gains per day on your stockers do you figure, you know, what are you hoping for based on your past experience with mixes like this?
You know, these spring mixes, when they're really good, and like I said, under irrigation, we can kind of control that. We're talking 3 to 4 pound a day, 3.5 pound a day is not uncommon if the weather stays halfway conducive for us. Worst case scenario is 2.5 to 3. But if you figure, you know, I got them cattle insured with LRP insurance at $250 a pound, then you can do the math pretty quick in your head that's pretty good revenue a day when we can put the kind of stocking rates down behind this irrigation and the dry land as well.
You know, and then following that, you'll go in with the warm seasons for sure. On the irrigated, the dry land, you'll just have to kind of see what Mother Nature gives you and be, you know, just be ready to go with it if it gives you the opportunity.
Well, and I think that's the key that I've been trying to stress for producers for a long time out here. You know, our rainfall is a little erratic, what it used to be. And when we get it, we need to use it because, you know, even we have trouble keeping it covered in the drier environments. And so we want to take the opportunity to keep it covered when we can, and then take some cattle gain off of that, beef and dollars in the bank. Because if we don't, it sits there fallow. We know we're going to lose that, or lose a percentage of that. And I don't want to lose any of that. If I'm going to go to the trouble, and you know my famous words, I like to get it all when it rains, and I want to use it. I don't want to lose it. So you know, use it or lose it. Keep it when it comes.
Yeah. So you got it all. Now you need to use it all. So yeah, that's a great way to think about it. So yeah, folks, if you are thinking down these same lines, if you've got cattle, you've got neighbors that have cattle, and you think you can strike a deal or a bargain with them to kind of do a joint venture on doing some grazing like this, we would encourage you to take your lowest productive ground, because you know you're going to struggle to make any profit on that. Give us a call here at Green Cover. We'd be happy to talk to you about the mix like what we're doing for Jimmy, or something that, you know, would fit your environment. We're happy to put together a grazing plan for you. So Jimmy, thank you. Travel safe. We know that you're super busy this time of year, so we appreciate you taking time.
Thanks a lot, Keith. Anytime.